Who are you without the performance? If you stop proving yourself, do you know who you are? I sometimes wonder. It's definitely different when you're not bodybuilding, you're not going through a divorce, you're not latched on some new goal or some new thing that you want to do. And I've even thought about it because even in more stillness of not competing and the few years after the divorce, here I am building my business, always doing something. But I think there's something different. I definitely think there's something different. Now when I do it, there's also peace. There's not this haywire kind of chaotic feeling, like you're just holding on for dear life. And that's when you're starting to find that space of coming home in yourself. I think about when I was in Michigan a few weeks ago with my kids, and I still have a reminder that goes off on my phone at 7:14. I don't know why 7:14. And it says, you're not coming into Michigan, you didn't bring Michigan home with you, you brought you home with you. And it reminds me of the parts that I am who I am now. And how I know that also is because my non-negotiables don't change. I still do the same things every single day. And if that gets off, then I know I'm not home in myself. And I maintained that through my competing. And I have to say, I maintained that through my divorce, and my competing was also what helped me get through my divorce, because it was a focus and it was a drive, and that's how we heal. Our healing all looks different. And I'm just interested in what your healing looks like and how it's different when you're at home in you. You know, I grew up in a chaotic environment, and there was always yelling and there was always screaming, and I feel my nervous system only learned like the fast track, and my nervous system only went at one speed. And I think that's part of wisdom as we age and mature, because you can't know more than you know any sooner than you do. It's the process. But you also can do things to check in with yourself. This hits home. This hits deep, because I want to sit here and be like, oh, I just do this because I want to. And I totally do. But there's also a part of the energy, the dopamine rush that goes like when you get a document and it's ready to go, or you feel successful in the task that you're doing. That's the dopamine. There's a chemical supportiveness in all of this and in how our body works. You are the shift. You are what brings you home in yourself. And being at home in yourself means knowing who you are. Knowing who you are can transition and look so different when you're not proving anything. Who are you? When can you relax? When can you release? When can you let go? You know, events happen in our life, and there's ways that we can rewire the way that it responds in our brain, neuroplasticity. We create gratitude. We can do certain actions to change some of that up. And there's this part that starts to resonate in our body. I call them traumas, little T's and big T's. There's some big events that go on in our life, and there's nothing you can do about it. Just like you really can't about the little T's either, but you can notice how your experiences are. That's been a big transition in the work that I do. I spent many years training in the way that our brains wire and rewiring it. And I totally believe that we can adjust things at an unconscious level. And I believe that it's stored inside of our body. So part of the work is for us to check in with our nervous system, because the body and the mind have to catch up. You know, it's our fight and flight response. We can tell our brain to chill it back, but if there's your body automatically feeling a sense of nausea or feeling twinges in your stomach, it's gonna think that it needs to do something, or it needs to not do anything, your fight or flight response. If a bear is coming at you, you would not be thinking about your stomach ache that you had. If a bear is coming at you, you wouldn't worry how your hair looks. Your body would automatically go into a mode of like, oh my God. But the thing is our brain doesn't know the difference. Our brain doesn't often know if we have an ice skating competition or if there's a bear chasing us. Our brain doesn't know that it's nervous about getting in front of a punching bag It just knows that it has a tingly feeling inside. The same way it doesn't know if it's storing shame or joy. It just knows there's a sensation that's eliciting a response. I know, I sound kind of like a psychologist today. I kind of am. I am. I'm a psychologist, I'm a shift coach, and I'm a mom. And life keeps going. Life keeps lifing no matter what the situation is. And it's our thing to come home, to be at home in ourselves, despite what's going on around us. So we can still have success. We can still chase goals. We can still do the things that we want to do. It's not what we're doing, it's the way that we're doing it. And my big Dr. Seuss thing, it's not what we're thinking, it's how we're thinking about what we're thinking. You know, thoughts come and go all the time in our head, but it's the ones that we give it energy that anchor in and can sometimes be problematic. So if a thought comes or a feeling comes and we find some space between it to just let it flow through, that's where we're gonna make the shift, be the shift, and we're gonna move ahead of this. And that's where the coming home in ourselves happens. That has been a huge transition for me, looking at the past several weeks of going away, feeling that safety in my body, to take a break, to be with my kids, and knowing I didn't need to do any more than I was. And then going on another little trip, and on that trip knowing that it was for me to anchor into my exercise, to stay grounded and focused. And then when my kids were gone, I thought I was gonna freak out because there has been moments of panic before. But I didn't, because there's safety inside of me and there's clarity on where my identity is and where they are. And a lot of that has to do with the daily practices that we do, the actual actions. Sometimes those actions feel really far away from us and there's progress, not perfection. And that's what this shift is. That's what this challenge is right now. That's why there's a new shift journal coming, so that we can use little tools to move ahead. We all need support. We all need help. There's no question. And that's a big piece of this too. If you've grown up in a world that you either you taught yourself or you've had these thoughts or other people have told you that you have to do it and you have to do it hardcore, there's this reluctancy to reach out and feel connection and be in relation with others. But at the bottom of all this is relation to you, and really being set in how you're eating, how you're sleeping, and how you're moving your body. Because that's gonna set the tone of how you allow other people to treat you. That's gonna set the tone of how you show other people to respect you. No crumbs. No crumbs. Taking crumbs is taking less than what you deserve because you haven't set limits with yourself. So that's where we're transitioning in, is now that I have a sense of me, that's going to carry over into the connection that I have with other people. This is the shift. Stay with it. It doesn't mean you have to stop having goals, being a badass, or going and doing more and different things. It's the way in which you do it. It's doing it anchored. It's doing it at home in yourself without abandoning yourself. It's when you're moving through these hard times like a wave where you just stay. You stay and you let it ride out, and you notice what you're noticing, and you notice the thoughts that might be going on in your head and in your body, and you stay with it. You stay with it just long enough till it passes. And you use the tools. Humming. It just puts some space between you and that thing. And it allows you to land inside of yourself and for your nervous system to settle. Notice the tools you have. Notice what's available to you. Those are the bridges. Those are the bridges to keep you in yourself, not abandoning yourself, and riding through it. That's the shift. I'm Dr. Dara. I'm here. Like, subscribe, hang out with me, DM me, ask me questions. We're in this together.